So my name is Jaime Del Val. I am coordinating the workshop in Madrid of the European Tele-Plateaus project, which is happening now. It started on the 26th of June and will finish today, the 28th. All the partners of the project have gathered here for an intensive session of work, together with over 30 local participants that have come through an open call and who are constituting a group work for the future developments of the concept that we propose in Madrid for public presentations in September. Is the connection of four spaces in four different cities that will constitute a single telematic installation performance space, so that movement analysis data and contours of the body's physical spaces are sent via internet to each partner. So in Madrid I have the movement data and the contours of the people in the other cities, and vice versa. We don't send video, we don't send audio, we really use and abstract the data to these very simple contours and movement analysis data. And so, particularly in Madrid, the concept that we are proposing is to be very critical with certain kinds of standardization in information society of what telematic presence is considered to be in terms of a very realistic representation through just video streaming or audio streaming. We want to work with more abstract and amorphous kinds of notions of presence. We also want to question what the role of the local is in all these issues. So we are having four different cities. What have cities become as hyper-real kind of places for consumption and publicity, where public space has nearly disappeared as such? How can we recuperate the bodies in public space in some way, in ways that exceed these very standardized simulative modes of representation and information production? Then also it is a fact that we are working with technologies that are to a certain extent surveillance technologies. We are using infrared cameras placed in the ceiling to capture movement. This is a very typical surveillance kind of system, but we want to turn it upside down in some ways, so that we produce effects, so we produce capacities for the bodies to relate that are exceeding some sort of system of control. And finally, also we want to raise the question, since it is a European project, about his political participation nowadays. Is there any real political participation of the citizens in the European Union, or for that sake in other contexts? And how is that possibly or often fake participation of citizens in politics? How is that related with this, which I was saying before, this disembodied, standardized society of information? How can we question that again through putting the bodies back into telematic modes of interaction? So all these are questions that are behind what we want to prepare for the public presentation for September, for this prototype or event for performance and installation.
You're put into already something that's set up, and I think for me it was really great to, if I'm thinking of making contact with a person in a different space, Like I'm going to want to either hear or I'm going to want to sense it somehow that's more bodily connected, not so much maybe through an object or through sitting somewhere or making it feel like I really enjoyed like moving with just having to hear, or watching this morning having them do the hearing and then the figures come about when they met.
Possibly the presentations will happen outdoors, which will be even more interesting insofar as we will occupy a space, public space in the streets or in a square. So incorporate the city in a very explicit way. Possibly they will happen in the interior of some public institution, so we have yet to define this. And anyway, it will be a hybrid of performance and installation. One of the important elements of this project is that we are actually going to be able to develop further the software of a free device, Calypso. So he is going to develop it further. He is implementing the connection between more than 2 cities at the moment, and this is of course not going to be the only development. We are going to work on many different kinds of possibilities of using video, sound, movement analysis parameters. So I think it will be important as a project that will develop a tool, a tool that exists already, but that will be developed further and eventually be serve also other purposes beyond this project.
Something like a metaphor for the physical. You know, my reference is the physical, which is the sound. It's not physical because I don't see you. No los veo. Pero la fisicalidad es el sonido.
I think many of the students were completely unaware of the fields that this workshop is dealing with, which are many in fact. So I think it has been a great discovery for many of them. For others who were already more aware, I think it has been a good opportunity to think and rethink some of the basic questions around presence, telematics, interaction, all these categories that are sometimes taken for granted, but that we have tried to frame in a rather critical manner, and which in this project one can put into question in different ways. So I think it has been useful at different levels, at more basic levels of interaction and also at more advanced levels of discussion.
Ningún tipo de presencia visual en el espacio hasta que consigues contactar con otra persona. Es que fuera al vacío, después se orienta en una dirección y vas buscando. Y cuando tendría que estar separado el espacio para no puedes estar otra persona, pero cuando tocas aparece.
Good, like collective interaction as a group with the local participants. So the idea is now we have already established a date for our next meeting in 2 or 3 days' time. So we expect to continue working with the whole group, with all of them that are interested, which is nearly 20 people. Beyond that, we will see throughout following the ensuing meetings whether it will continue to be so just like a group interaction that feeds into the development of the concept, or whether also from that group some more specific individual inputs will also be defined.
Infrastructure.
For example, we could say